August 9th, 2019. I am Bailey Stiebiger, and I am interviewing Sandra Gurnee at her home in Newkirk, Oklahoma. I am a member of the Newkirk 4-H Go-Getters, and this is for the Oklahoma Military Hall of Fame project. What was it like for you when your husband was overseas?
Scary. Lonely. And you have to remember, I was just barely 19 years old when he went to Southeast Asia. I had a 9-month-old, and I was pregnant. And I was due in 6 months. And I said I had lived long enough without having mom and dad that I was not going to live at home. I didn't think that would be possible. So Dennis, we came back from Las Vegas, Nevada. Dennis found us a house to rent, $50 a month. But I had a little grocery store next door, and I had wonderful neighbors that were our landlord, and we had gone to school with his son. So I had caregivers around, and he made sure that we were all right. But there was a lot of nights of crying. A lot of nights of, what have I got myself into? A lot of nights of wishing he was there, and it's not. On rainy nights when the hail and the rain were pounding on the tin roof. Then at Thanksgiving, Scotty was born. I had 2 to think about. Alone in the bed in the hospital, and the neighbor, her husband wasn't working, and he was there 24/7. And mine was in Southeast Asia. I wanted to kick him in the butt. Go away. Go find something to do, you know. Don't lay around being a goof-off. My teenage husband was being a soldier. Then he was coming home. His best friend, the man who was the best man at our wedding, would come in and check on us all the time. And I called him and I said, Wayne, Dennis is coming home. He's going to be in Wichita in an hour. I got to get to Wichita. So he ran over to the house. He's going to drive Jeff and I and Scotty to Wichita. Couldn't find my shoes, couldn't zip up a dress. I made a dress especially for the airport. And I couldn't find my shoes. Scott's diaper was poopy. Wayne was pulling me together. Got us in the car. Got us to Wichita. And Jeff is just a little over 2 by that time. And he sees his dad across the parking lot. And he takes off and grabs Dennis around the leg and wouldn't let him go. Dennis is hobbling back with Jeff clinging onto his leg. That was the best moment in the world. You can see all these videos now of husbands and wives meeting, and that is the best moment in the world. They're home safe. And I think of all the poor soldiers who don't make it home safe, who are in the hospitals, who need extra help, and they're getting it from charities. And I was lucky. Dennis has never talked about Southeast Asia until the last few years when he's been communicating with other soldiers. And I've heard more stories now than I ever heard when he first came home. When he first came home, we didn't talk about it. We talked about the boys. We were taking care of 2 babies and going back out to the West Coast. We had been at Las Vegas, and we were going back out to the West Coast to Victorville, California. So we had to immediately pack up. We had 30 days to get to Victorville, California. So we had to decide what we could take with us and what we had to leave and get rid of it. And, so it was get up and move again. I have moved and packed up probably 20 to 30 times in our married life of 53 years. That's a lot. I think of my sister, who's moved twice. That just doesn't seem fair somehow. But I always say that the military wives serve with their husbands, and they do. They just have a different battlefield. Their battlefield is home, making sure they've got the right care for their kids, making sure that the communication is open between her and her husband, who is so far away. In this day of the media, social media, being able to Skype, being able to text and immediately get riffed, that, I waited days for a letter. And then when I get a whole bunch at one time, I knew he was off somewhere, because he mailed one every day. And if he didn't mail one, it stacked up. And so I knew he was off somewhere. And we had a reel-to-reel recorder. And that's how Scotty knew his dad's voice. That was the only way, is because he had heard his voice over that reel-to-reel recorder. And he would lay in his little rickety plastic chair that we had back then. None of these fancy things they have now. Just a little plastic foam thing with a wire rack on the back to hold it up. And he'd lay on the floor and listen to those tapes. And Jeff would sit on the floor with him, cross-legged. Dada! Daddy, Scotty, Daddy! And he'd tell Scott over and over that was Daddy. Those were the good times, is sitting on the floor listening to those tapes. The very good times. Yeah. But that was what it was like. I mean, every day was, you didn't want any knocks at the door. You didn't want any phone calls. You just wanted to be calm and quiet and nothing bad happened. No upsets. You know, I didn't have kids in school, so I didn't have that going on. But the two babies was all I could handle. I didn't want to handle anymore. But 30 years. We were back and forth in the military, and changes in him, big time, big time. He still copes with it to this day. Anger issues, authority issues. But yeah, but it's been a wonderful life. I mean, we have great medical coverage. We have security. And the security they've given us is wonderful. I'll never forget those years in the military. Good and bad. But I like good. That's it.